Hello, hello, hello. This is Ryan Ellis, and we are currently at current. The present year is MMXXII Anno Domini 2022 AD in the year of our Lord. And I could not be happier to be joined with the LaRupin legendary Lee Canady. How you doing, sir?
Hi, Ryan. How you doing, man?
Here, you got that mic.
Okay. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, for the first time in I'm doing fine. For the first time in several weeks, you got a mic and I've got a mic. We're here, if you can't tell already, in front of Hitsville, USA, aka the Motown Museum. This was a building bought in the, I believe, early 60s by none other than Berry Gordy. A man, would you consider him a friend or just an acquaintance of yours?
Well, I consider him a friend. Everybody's my friend, really. I'm friends with everybody. But we was business associates. We wasn't business that friends like we always with each other, talking to each other, calling each other. We just business associates.
What do you remember the first time you met him, or one of the first times you saw him?
The first time I met him was he came in the store. I was mopping the floor, and Miss Keywell was sitting behind the counter on the telephone, and Barry walked back to me and he introduced himself, and that's how I met him. He had records he wanted me to listen to, and so I don't know what the conversation went after that, but I met him 4 or 5 times after that. I don't know how many times, but every time, not more than 4 or 5 times, every time they would have something at the 20 Grand, his group, they did a concert, they always gave us tickets. Promoting the show and promoting us, and so therefore I would always be in contact that kind of way, you know. And then when we would all sit together, you know, for Motown, I knew the father and mother, Papa Gordy, you know, we sat hello and we acknowledged each other. We wasn't just friends that hung out.
Yeah, and well, you were embarrassed when you laughed at that Richard Pryor Lady Sing the Blues. Now, were you close enough that you were embarrassed because that was not like you to them, or what was the reason you were embarrassed for laughing at Richard Pryor so much?
Well, Richard Pryor was funny, and we was at the theater downtown. You know, everybody supposed to be professional.
Here, I'll just hold this. Yeah.
And and Richard Pryor had did something, I was laughing.
Yeah.
And I just let it go, and I was embarrassed because I was laughing. That my ex-wife was nudging me to stop laughing, and but you know, that's we was all together that night.
Yeah. Lady Sings the Blues. Billy D. Williams played in that movie, and here, let me back up a little bit there. We were talking the other day on the phone. There's an 1877 Steinway & Sons piano. Originally, it belonged to Golden World Records, but Berry Gordy bought out Golden World, so he inherited this piano. And this is the piano. It's right behind us in that building, Hitsville, USA. Right. I'm not sure where it is now, but at the time when you were there, when you've been here before, you said that you saw this 1877 Steinway right as you entered the building, and it was your one and only visit to Hitsville, right? You've only been here one time before today.
Once or twice, I don't know. I came by to see Barry, and he gave me a card. He wanted to. We was out at the 20 Grand one night, and he walked over to where I was, and he said, "I understand you know a lot about jazz."
Yeah.
And anyway, he said he had some jazz records, and he wanted me to listen to it. He had 3 or 4 artists out, but they didn't do that well at the time, and so he wanted to promote that.
Yeah.
And so he gave me his card. He wanted me to stop by his office. And I lived down the street down there on Linwood, in 7417 Linwood. And every day I would pass by here, and there would be so many cars parked, there wasn't no place to park, and I was always late for work anyway. So I said, well, he didn't want nothing, but I was wrong. So when they had opened up down at the Ford Auditorium, down at Rossstead, he had a party at it over here on the Boulevard,
Yeah.
Boston, and I was invited.
Oh, the Boston Edison neighborhood where
Right,
where his
right.
palatial estate, his
Betty,
mansion stood.
they announced that I was there. Berry came to the door and he showed me through, and we went downstairs going to the
Here, I'll hold that. Yeah.
out in the on the lawn. We had to go downstairs, and he had someone singing on the first floor, or second floor, and then the tunnel went through.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Pictures on the wall, lit up, the artists.
Yeah.
And so anyway, Marvin Gaye was at a playing piano.
By the pool.
Well, on the park there.
On the grass by the
grass.
pool.
He had more than one people out there. He had food and everything. Anyway, as we was leaving or something, he called me over, acknowledged me, and Billy D. Williams was standing beside him. He introduced me to Billy D. Williams.
He introduced you and your wife to Billy D. Your wife was with you that day.
Right.
I always laugh. Marvin Gaye, piano lounge singer, just a piano and a
he was just
microphone,
singing and playing piano.
Yeah.
By himself, no band, no group. He's just entertaining.
Decades before Prince.
And I think it was someone else there too. I'm not sure, but we stayed a while because it was late.
Yeah.
And then we left. But Diana Ross came and jumped in the pool with her.
She was wearing, what was she dressed
She
at?
had a white gown on.
Just white. Pure
Yeah.
white. So it's sheer. Could you see through when she got
I
out? When she
don't-
was covered in
I
water?
don't remember her looking when she got out, but we just laughed, and I thought that's
You
a
gotta figure.
splash. That she was a splash. She jumped in the pool.
literally and figuratively.
But
made a splash.
I was there at the party that night. And usually when Berry had something, he always invited people on the opening night, the disc jockeys, the press, or whoever, be there, and we have an invitation. And everything is on the house, the
Man.
drinks or whatever,
No thought to cost. Just as good as times could be.
Yeah, well, he trying to show the people, acknowledge the people that will represent him, list his record, buy his record, promote his records. I can understand that.
Yeah.
It just so happened that I was the first black in the country to buy direct from the manufacturer. And so from that, I had the power to list the record. So when they got a new record out, they send me copies of it.